Hi, this is Jyoti here. Welcome to Jopad Tech Guru. Today we are going to discuss regarding C Sharp tips and tricks. This is the part 3 in which I am discussing regarding extension methods as well as yield keyword. Let us start the discussion with the extension methods. These are introduced in C Sharp 3.0. Extension methods enable us to add methods to existing types without creating a new derived type, recompiling, or otherwise modifying the original type. So without disturbing the original function, you can keep on extending the functionality using the extension methods. Extension methods are a special kind of static method, but they are called as if they were instance methods on the extended type. It extends the functionality of the existing type. So which are the other features of extension method? This is a static method allocated in static class. This keyword is used as the first parameter and is called by a given type instance on the client side. So this keyword is must whenever you are defining the extension method. If you create extension methods that have the same signature methods as the type you are extending, then the extension methods will never be called. So you should be careful enough while you're handling the extension method. Class name can be anything for extension method, but the class should be static. So this keyword and static keyword plays a very important role in case of extension method. So an extension method should be in the same namespace as we can import later on by using statement. Using you might have used in your coding. We are usually giving using for adding the namespace as well as referring to some important things which we have already written in the code. In the very much similar way, I can use it for extension method. So if you are keeping the extension method in the same namespace, then you can always use it by giving using statement. So through the IntelliSense also Visual Studio helps us to get this particular thing. So just by giving dot, you can observe that you will be able to see the particular method appears along with the arguments. So there is a concept called as binding parameter. So what exactly the binding parameter is? Binding parameters are those parameters which are used to bind the new method with the existing class or structure. So if you are extending the feature of the existing method and you want to bind it, that time we are using the concept called as binding parameter. It does not take any value when you are calling the extension method because they are used only for binding, not for any other use. So you cannot store or you cannot use it as per the binding parameter is concerned. It is getting utilized only for calling the extension method and it will not do any other work other than this. So the binding parameter is created using this keyword followed by the name of the class in which you want to add a new method and the parameter name. Suppose if I am giving this my class object 1, here in the parameter list of the extension method, binding parameter is always present at the first place. If you write binding parameter to second or third or any other place rather than the first place, then the compiler will give you an error. Here, this keyword is used for binding. My class is the class name in which you want to bind and object 1 is the parameter name. So let us see with an example. So to honor the timing, I have already written the program here. so that we can directly discuss regarding the logic and try to understand how exactly the extension method will work. So I have got one of the example here in which I'm storing ABC within string S1, and I have got a method called as extension method demo, and here I'm giving is numeric function which is going to check whether whatever the input we are providing it, whether it is a numeric or not. So here you can observe that we have written a static class here. The name of the class is extension method demo. In this I have got a static method which returns a boolean data, whether it is true or false. So is numeric is the function name. This string yes. I've got one of the float variable output to hold the data. So here we are giving float dot try parse yes comma out of output. So what exactly this out and ref are the two standard ways through which you can refer the particular variables, or you can store the data inside it. So through the try parse method, I'm going to check whether the particular string, whatever the conversion has happened of a number to its single precision floating point number equivalent or not. So it is going to return the value that I am going to catch hold over here. So you can observe that we have tried over here something with respect to if. If this is numeric, I am going to print yes it is numeric, otherwise it is not. So let me execute and show you the result. So here currently I am getting no, it is not numeric. Why? Because we have stored ABC over here. So you try to store some number and check this particular code, you will be able to get yes, it is numeric. So this is one of the example in which I'm just extending the feature of my predefined functions. Let me explain with one more example. So here I have got again a static class. The name of the class is string helper, in which I have got static method. It is going to check the uppercase, get uppercase. This string name, I'm going to provide a name over here. It is going to get converted and then it is going to get returned back. So in this class, extension method example class, I'm going to create a static string in which I'm storing Jopat Tech Guru, and then inside the name, I'm going to call this get uppercase function. So you can observe that we have given name dot get uppercase. So get uppercase is what? There is no predefined function as such. We have written an extension method in which we are trying this to upper function. So the control will come over here, whatever the data I am providing it. That is Jopat Tech Guru will be converted to uppercase and then it will be returned. So if you are printing this str, you will be able to see the uppercase of Jopat Tech Guru. This is the output. So this is the way how you can understand how exactly the extension method works, what exactly the binding parameters are, this and the standard static class. Both are very important. So which are the other features of extension method? Extension method does not support method overriding. You can also add new methods in the sealed class also using an extension method concept. You might have used sealed class. Sealed class is the one which we cannot inherit. So if you want to add new methods in the sealed class using the extension method concept, you can add it. Must be defined in top level static class, cannot be applied to events, properties and field. And extension method only contains a single binding parameter, but you can define one or more normal parameter in the extension method. It is not necessary that you should define only the extension method parameter or the binding parameter. If you want any normal parameters also, you can define it. So what are the advantages of extension method? The main advantage of extension method is to add new methods in the existing class without using the inheritance concept. You can extend the feature of the existing method itself. You can add new methods in the existing class without modifying the source code of the existing class. You can also use it with the seed class. So this is all about your extension method. The second I want to discuss is yield keyword. This is introduced in C# 2.0. The yield keyword lets you feed an enumerable interface with items. So here, if you are having predefined collections or some data you want to fill it, then with the help of enumerable or enumerable generic collection, you can store the data. The yield keyword allows you to create enumerable T in the form of an iterator block. So you can store number of items inside the enumerable interface. An iterator block can be described as syntactic sugar where the compiler generates a state machine that keeps track of how far the enumeration of the enumerable has progressed. So you can keep track about the progress of the enumerable block. So usually we call this as iterated blocks. So what is enumerable? You might have used it within your code. This is just to make you understand the definition. Enumerable is an interface defining a single method getEnumerator that returns an enumerator interface. It is the base interface for all non-generic collections that can be enumerated. So whenever you want to define any non-generic collections, then you can use this enumerable interface. This works for read-only access to a collection that implements that enumerable can be used with for each statement. You can hold the data using enumerable, but later on again you will be using for each loop to extract all the data from that. So which are the other features of enumerable? We can use it to hold the data. We can retrieve it very easily using the enumerable. So what about the other features of yield? Yield return can be very powerful if it is used in a correct way. It enables us to lazily generate a sequence of objects. The system does not have to enumerate the whole collection and it can be done on demand. So it is not going to get done automatically on demand, or whenever you are calling it at that time only it is going to get executed. Real iterator blocks often have conditions and loops, but when you check the conditions and unroll the loops, they still end up as yield statements interleaved with other code. So to put it simply, yield allows many calls to a body of code referred to as an iterator. So this knows how to return before it is done, and when called again, continues where it left off. So it is going to keep track where exactly the pointer has left. So how we are having move next. Similarly, it is going to point to the next iteration. That is, it helps an iterator become transparently stateful per each item in a sequence that the iterator returns in successive calls. So how many iterations should happen and at what point it has left. It is going to keep track of all the things. So let us try to understand by an example. Here in this example, I have got my class which contains the main. In this, using the for each loop, I am trying to extract all the powers from 2 to 2 and 8. I have given the number and the exponent. We will be able to get all the powers of 2 till 8. So here we have got public static I enumerable power method. This power method returns I enumerable. This is a collection of data. So for the power, what all things I am supplying two informations. One is number, second is exponent. Then in the code, using the for each for loop, I am going to calculate the exponent result star number. So you can observe that with the different iterations, I will be able to get the return result. But here I have used the yield. So what exactly the yield will do? For each and every iteration, it is going to hold the particular result and then it is going to return back. So in this case, you can observe I am providing 2 and 8 as the inputs and then I am going to print it. So for each and every output, you will be able to see the result of the power function. So let me execute and show you the result. So 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3 up to 2 raised to 8. I'll be getting all the powers starting from 2 raised to 1 till 2 raised to 8. So one more example for the yield I want to discuss. Here we have got I enumerable int integers. Integers is the method name. In this we have given yield return 1, 2, 3, 4 and different numbers. Next we have got a customer function in which we are using for each loop. I in integers, I want to extract all the information from the integers function and then I want to print it. This I am calling it over here. So you can observe that we have given yield for each and every return statement. Let me execute and show you the result. So you can observe that we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4 and different numbers using the 8. So each and every result will be separately getting printed and you will be getting the information very clearly if you are using the yield statement. So this is all about the yield. Hope the video has helped you. Please do subscribe and like my channel and share it with your friends and let me know which all other C# tips and tricks you are looking for so that I can make the videos for the same. Thank you everybody. Have a great day.